Hello, and welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with Heather. This is episode 8. I know I've taken a long hiatus, and every week I have it on my calendar to do a vlog, and every week for almost a year, I think, I have kept postponing it. So today, I think I'm going to do this vlog. Uh, okay, so what are we going to talk about today? If you want, grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, grab a bottle of water, sit back, relax, and let's talk. Let's have a heart to heart. Okay, so as everyone knows, coronavirus hit the scenes here in the US back in March 2020. Due to all my comorbidities, if you remember, I have sickle cell anemia disease, not the trait. I have systemic lupus. I have asthma. And a few other things thrown in there just for fun, such as Kikuchi Fujimoto, whatever that is. You will have to Google it and look it up. Anyhow, with all my comorbidities, my physician sent me home after my last visit with him in March 2020. And he told me that due to my higher risk of severe illness and death, that he wanted me to go on a personal lockdown. I was a little discouraged, disheartened by it, but fortunately, right when he put me out on a lockdown, the country went on lockdown, so I really wasn't missing too much. However, we know the history of coronavirus, and we know the history of the lockdown and the reopening and the mask and the not wearing mask. Well, though the rest of the world has resumed life as normal, pre-pandemic style, I have remained pretty much in my own lockdown. I wear a mask wherever I go, even in my car with my family. I socially or physically distance myself from others so as not to increase my risk of getting infected. As a little background, back when it all started, a girlfriend of mine told me that the head elder at her church suggested that the members should go home and anoint themselves, anoint their family members, anoint their doorposts, like what the children of Israel did prior to the Exodus, and pray Psalms 91 over themselves and their loved ones. So I thought it was a brilliant idea. So that night, when I heard that night, we anointed myself, my husband, my child, and I. We anointed each other. We anointed our front doorposts and our back doorposts. And we prayed and claimed the promises of Psalms 91. Fast forward, so as I said, I have been maintaining all pandemic precautions. I'm following the Swiss cheese methodology of protecting myself from getting COVID. And thank God, it is August 2022, and I have not, neither has my family, been infected with the coronavirus. I can only say praise and glory be to God for what He has done, because it's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is in addition to what He's doing. So anyhow, we know that vaccines were made, Operation Warp Speed. Three vaccines came to market. One that was also a part of Operation Warp Speed was struggling to get up and going. It had a lot of manufacturing issues, a lot of different issues getting up to snuff, as they would say. And that one is Novavax. So the vaccines came on scene, and of course, I was in the first round of people who would be eligible. Number one, being a healthcare worker, but number two, being due to all my high risk factors. Pfizer, Moderna, I was not impressed. I did not want them. I was more leaning towards getting the J&J vaccine. I actually had it scheduled in my primary's office. He scheduled it, and the week I was going to get it, I was getting it on the Thursday. The Monday, they called and told me that there was a hold. And that was when news was released, or people were told that the J&J vaccine had a high risk of clotting and strokes and hemorrhaging, basically. So my doctor then took that one off the table and said that he would not recommend I take it. If I wanted to, I could take the Pfizer or Moderna. Um, but as I said, I was not interested in it. The methodology of making the Pfizer Moderna vaccine, up to this point, they have not tested it in patients like me, so they do not know what type of side effects I would have should I take it. And just understanding how they did it, the vaccine, they inject the RNA into one's body and basically have your body become the factory for the spike protein. So your body will produce the spike protein, and then after X amount of time, I do not know the length of time, your body is then supposed to shut down the factory, stop making the spike protein, produce antibodies, and you will be protected. Well, if you know anything about lupus, it's an autoimmune disease. Basically, my immune system runs rampant. It is a haywire system in my body. And so I was not trusting that my body would have enough sense to turn on, produce spike protein, turn off, and that would be the end of it with no side effects. So I have been personally waiting for 2.5 years for Novavax to be approved. Novavax got the FDA review board. That was done, I think, in the early part of June. The FDA then reviewed it by the middle of June 2022 and approved it, waiting on the CDC. Well, the CDC council, they met, they approved it, they gave it a green light, they gave it a thumbs up as of July, I believe it was the 19th. So I am personally waiting to go and take my Novavax vaccine on September 1st. Yay! So I just wanted to share that. The difference between the Novavax and the Pfizer and Moderna. So Novavax is a more traditional vaccine. It uses methodology that has been in use for decades. That's how the flu vaccines are made. That's how the hepatitis B vaccines are made. So basically, they utilize a medium that makes the spike protein, and then they add an adjuvant, they inject it in you, and then your body makes mounts an immune response to it. So my body is not being given blueprint or directions on how to make the spike protein. My body is basically being given a spike protein appearing virus, not really a virus, but it is being presented with this spike protein. And all my body is asked to do is mount a response so that the next time it sees a spike protein, it will know to attack and kill. So that is where I am. And yeah, it sounds really, really weird, almost like 14 days out. I have not been infected, thank God. I'm waiting 14 more days to get shot number 1 of 2, and shot number 2 will be 3 weeks thereafter. Will I stop wearing a mask after that? No, I'm still gonna wear a mask. As a nurse, I know that mask wearing works. I don't need Fauci or anybody to tell me otherwise. I've worked with TB patients, I've worked with meningitis patients, I've worked with measles and chickenpox patients. And once I don my protective equipment, I am good to go. I have never gotten any of those. I've never brought home any of those. So I know mask wearing works. So I will continue wearing my mask. However, what being vaccinated will mean to me is that I, I can start reconnecting in society. I have basically been home and doctor's office and maybe one or two runs to a store, in and out type of thing. I have not been on a vacation in almost 2 years. Well, no, almost 3 years. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to reintegrating into society. Getting back to church. Right now, we are the webmasters for our church. So we host all the programs remotely. And I have not seen the inside of my church for 2.5 years. So, yeah, that's what getting vaccinated means to me. And I am excited and looking forward to getting my Novavax. So, guys, if any of you are unvaccinated, but you are unvaccinated not because you're an anti vaxxer, which society likes using titles and labels, if you are truly cautious and concerned about using the Pfizer and Moderna and J&J vaccine, I would recommend you do your research on Novavax, and you will be pleasantly surprised to see the differences, and you may then feel more comfortable in taking it and living your life a little bit more freer than it has been these past 2.5 years. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and you will be notified of upcoming programs as I strive to get back on track with doing my heart to heart with Heather. Love you guys. It's been fun. See you next week. God bless.